You know, when everybody's doing one thing, I tend to try to go after the other thing and be a contrarian. Seems everybody's talking about this Coinbase IPO. You know, next week on Wednesday, Coinbase is doing their IPO and doing a direct listing into the stock market. I look at it from a different perspective, and I actually think this Coinbase situation as a whole exposes a much larger picture and exposes the overall stock market in a different way. And I wanted to share that in this video here. Before I get into the video, I have to say that this is just my opinion, not to be taken as financial advice in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a financial advisor. Disclaimer. I am not buying this IPO. I'm going to watch it from the sidelines, and I'm going to be bummed about it. But I'm forcing myself to not get in on this IPO. Here's why. What does this IPO really expose? Everybody's in a feeding frenzy. They're talking, oh, it's over 100 billion. It's going to go here. It's going there. Yeah, all the money's going to get pumped into this stock. What are you buying that stock with? You're not buying it with Bitcoin. You know, they sell Bitcoin and they do a great job at it. They make a lot of money. It's a great company. But what are you buying that stock with? And what is that stock valued in? Under what, currency? It's a dollar, right? So you're using a diluted dollar to buy into a company that is selling cryptocurrency for those dollars. But they are valued in dollars, not in Bitcoin, unless they convert their balance sheet, which, hint, hint, they might. They might. Wouldn't that be something? If they I see Coinbase, if I was going to put my prediction on Coinbase out there, I see them doing their IPO, getting to a very lofty valuation, and then trying to dilute their stock to take that capital, do secondaries, pull that capital, and put it into Bitcoin. And would you rather be in assets that they are selling, or would you rather be in their stock that sells the cryptocurrency? Myself personally, I would rather own the Bitcoin, and I would never store my Bitcoin on Coinbase. No offense, Coinbase. I see this whole situation really unfolding just how wild of a circus show the dollar has become and the stock market has become, because we're using fiat currency, using dollars that are diluted to buy a stock in the stock market at a very lofty valuation. If I was paying for Coinbase, I know there's going to be some people that go, well, I want to invest in it because I find it to be a good investment that's going to grow in value. Excuse me. Okay. It's going to trade for sure at a very lofty price to earnings ratio, to a point where it's like they can't even grow to being as big of a company to meet that price to earnings ratio. So they're going to be another one of those collectibles stocks where they're just basically buying stock to hold as an NFT in a sense, because it's really not backed by any, okay, well, in 5 years, it'll be worth more than the valuation. There is no Graham's law here. There is no approach, no Warren Buffett type of approach to buying stocks like this in the stock market. It's just a feeding frenzy for a stock that basically becomes a collectible. I see what Coinbase does next is expose just how many people are looking to get out of fiat currency. I think what will be the overall picture of things when Coinbase does get a lot of hype around it? Well, an investor likes to look at the platform. What's going on in this platform? What do they sell? How do they sell it? Oh, look at this. It's so easy to buy Bitcoin. All of the eyeballs, I would imagine if I had to look at the stats on how many clicks the Coinbase website and the app gets after the IPO, I would imagine it goes up in order of magnitude. Minimum 10x. I think that the clicks, they already have a ridiculously large user base. I think it's over 50 million on their user base. And these are all verified accounts. To make a Coinbase account, you have to, send your ID and all this stuff. So a verified user of Coinbase is much different than a verified user of, say, a social media platform. That's the one denominator of Coinbase that's very interesting to me, is you actually have to verify that you are a real person to get a Coinbase account. There's a lot of checks and balances there. So when they say what their user base is, that's their user base. You know, Twitter, you can make a bunch of Twitter accounts and you can make a bunch of different Instagram accounts and whatever. This, you actually have to verify who you are, which I find to be very interesting with Coinbase's user base. That user base, I think, will be looking at the app a lot more. I think they will drive a ton more users into the app. It might double. The amount of users might double for Coinbase. But I think that the clicks, the actual views to Coinbase, I mean, I actually use Coinbase just to check the prices. I'm starting to use other apps a little bit more, but I think most of us that are checking Bitcoin's price are using Coinbase just to check the price. You know, so all of the views that are going into Coinbase, they do deserve a big valuation. Now, my whole thing is, as they are viewing this, they are viewing the cryptocurrencies. And if you are buying cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency is growing, would you rather be in the Coinbase IPO or would you rather be in Bitcoin? Myself personally, I think Bitcoin's price skyrockets over 100 grand. And I think Coinbase kind of is a risk. Because with Bitcoin, at least I know this is finite. They can't announce a secondary of this. They can't just go, oh, we're going to do a secondary and we're going to buy Bitcoin with the secondary money. They can dilute that stock to buy Bitcoin like Tesla did. Literally, Tesla did this picture perfect. They did secondaries, accumulated money from diluting their stock. They issued more shares, diluted their stock, took that money in, and then bought Bitcoin with it. I see Coinbase doing something very similar in the near future, where they're going to dilute their stock and all the stockholders get diluted upon. Granted, they're going to buy Bitcoin with it, but I think the dilution rate and the price that the stock goes to doesn't make very much sense, where you could just buy the actual asset. I see buying the IPO far more risky than buying Bitcoin. I see silver and precious metals being far less risky than all of it. So my personal play with Coinbase's IPO, and I'm sure you could have guessed this, is buying precious metals, having silver, you know, accumulating a large position in collectibles, precious metals, things that are finite or limited rather, which should be the better way to say it. Buying the actual asset that Coinbase sells. Not the Coinbase stock that's going to be heavily diluted and valued in a currency that is heavily diluted. Not only is, that's what I mean by that, not only the stock is going to be diluted by trading at a very lofty price to earnings ratio, but the currency in which you are buying that stock and the currency that the stock is valued in is diluted. So you got a double whammy of dilution, not to mention if they decide to do secondaries in the future. So you got a triple whammy of dilution going on there with Coinbase's IPO. I'm going to pass on that. Now I might miss out, but I'm going to go for the thing that Coinbase sells that is actually ultimately finite. I know Bitcoin ends at 21 million. I know that there's going to be a lot more exposure to Bitcoin. Why would I not have Bitcoin instead of the IPO? Would much rather have that. The IPO could have a total trap door just drop on me, and so could Bitcoin. But if I'm going to choose between the two, it's going to be Bitcoin. Precious metals is always going to be number one for me because that is the most. Silver is so wildly undervalued, it's ridiculous at this point. And as I'm surprised, what I'm really surprised on is that Coinbase is even being allowed to IPO. Maybe they're just so foolish that they don't see it or they can't stop it in a way, but drawing this many eyeballs to the cryptocurrency space as cryptocurrency is going to all-time highs is so big. It's such a big deal. You know, as Bitcoin develops this new layer of digital currency, whether you're for or against Bitcoin, it is exposing just how ridiculous the fiat currency is. So if you think Bitcoin is ridiculous as the digital currency layer, and I'm not going to, I see fiat as the lowest layer, but it's really the highest layer right now based on, market cap percentages, but I see it as like layers of money. I see fiat currency as a layer. I see gold and silver, precious metals as a layer. I see digital assets as a layer, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of these as a layer. I see these different layers, collectibles as a layer, real estate as a layer. I see like assets and currencies, different layers there. And I see the more money that goes into cryptocurrency exposing how overvalued and diluted fiat currency and the stock market is as a whole. So as more and more people use Coinbase to buy cryptocurrencies, they are essentially I mean, imagine cryptocurrency ends up going, and I know this is crazy. A lot of people won't see this as possible, but it is. If cryptocurrency gets, you know, a $50 trillion valuation, $100 trillion valuation in the future, and Coinbase obviously is going to be a major catalyst towards that market cap growing exponentially, what does that do? It exposes fiat currencies for being backed to nothing. At least at least Bitcoin, we know that there's only 21 million of them. We know it's decentralized. We know some things about it that are much better on paper, obviously, than dollars. If we're going to store our money somewhere, you know, the one guarantee is that the dollar 100% has a burn rate admitted by the Fed. 2.4% or 2.2% or whatever it is that they say. Realistically, it's more than 10% in my personal opinion on the real dilution rate or the inflation rate. But the guarantee is that if you hold dollars, since the inception of the Fed in 1913 until now, the dollar has lost 99% of its buying power. So there is a 100% certainty that you have a burn rate if you're holding dollars. That's fact. Now, Bitcoin is extremely volatile. You know, a lot of people don't agree with it. Could go down. Obviously, could go down quite a bit. Extremely volatile situation. But it isn't a guaranteed burn rate. It isn't a guaranteed burn rate like the dollar is. So there is all of that going on. I know a lot of people don't agree with Bitcoin and everything, but I see Coinbase's IPO not only raising the price of Bitcoin, which I would rather own the Bitcoin than the IPO, but also exposing all fiat currency in general. And so as it grows in value, these cryptocurrencies, the fiat in which you are buying your stock in, if the dollar loses 50% of its buying power, which it should after everything that's going on, it should, if they injected 40% into the supply, I see it should be going down 40%, you know, but it doesn't, you know, but if more money goes, you know what, we're kind of sick of the way it's ran. We're going to go put it into digital money. You know, you got Tesla, you got all these companies going, oh, we're going to put billions into Bitcoin instead of holding fiat. That in turn could drop the value of the dollar. And what are your stocks valued in? Dollars. They're not. Last time I checked, Coinbase isn't valued in Bitcoin. It could be if they decided to do secondaries and dilute their stock, but you could just buy the Bitcoin in the first place. Anyway, I don't want to keep rambling and ranting, but what am I doing instead of buying the IPO? I'm going to go ahead and buy the actual asset that it sells. I'm a maximalist on Bitcoin, although I am looking at these other coins and I'm starting to learn some more about it. Right now, I'm Bitcoin and Bitcoin only myself. If anything, it makes me want to hold with platinum hands. I know it's supposed to say diamond hands. I like the term platinum hands or silver hands. Let's go with that instead. It's a perfect time to be accumulating actual assets because this IPO, it just blows my mind that it's allowed. It blows my mind that it's allowed, really. Because when they're IPOing like this, it's just going to draw so many more eyeballs to decentralized assets. I think it skyrockets the price of Bitcoin. I think it skyrockets the price of Ethereum. I mean, granted, kind of artificially, because there's just going to be so many more eyeballs looking at the platform and checking the platform going, might as well throw a couple grand in there. Why not? There's going to be so much more impulsive buys of Bitcoin because of this IPO and people looking at the app that I think that it ends up just drawing major exposure to just decentralized assets as a whole. So I think silver skyrockets because of it. I think gold goes up because of it. I think platinum goes up because of it. And I think all cryptocurrencies are going to go up because of them doing this IPO. And I would much rather be in those asset places that are real than the diluted stock that trades at some ridiculous price to earnings ratio that can be diluted at will. That's a triple whammy of dilution. We just coined that term, in this. There's a triple whammy of dilution going on in Coinbase stock. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a hard pass. So that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. I know in my videos I ramble and I rant a bit, but I hope that there's some useful information for you here. Thank you so much for watching. If you feel like hitting that like button, would really appreciate it. It does help this video get out to more people. And if you want to be a subscriber, it is a whole $0.00. So I understand it is it's a bit of a, big buy. It's a big purchase to go and click that subscribe button down there. You got to be pretty committed to do that, but I hope it's worth your while to click that subscribe button. If you click the bell on all notifications, you will be notified of all future videos. I am working on my live stream situation over here, and we'll have that up and running very soon. So if you want to be notified of that, click that subscribe. And yes, it is free to click the subscribe. We'd love to have you as part of the channel. Thanks again. Signing out. See you at the next video.